I have gone all day itching, like the Dave Chappelle gif, dying to get into these fantasy football drafts, dying to start this live stream. But hell, we are here. We're going to hop in one of these drafts right now. Let me just pull up this screen and let me ask you, please drop a like on the live stream. What the hell are you doing? If you have not dropped a like on this yet, subscribe to the channel if you play Dynasty Fantasy Football or regular fantasy football. I apologize. I'm in that dynasty mindset right now. But let's switch this over right now. We are going to be going over to Underdog Fantasy, hopping in this puppy draft, not wasting any time. Let's get in here and let's see how many spots are available. Okay, so 3 spots in this draft room if you wanted to come out. I'm assuming that these are going to be taken ASAP. Yep, we are full. Where are we going to be picking? That's the question. The 109. Okay, so I've done something almost every single draft that I get at the 109. And by the way, if you are unsure what's going on here, we do these all the time. I mean, I am closing in on over 100 real money fantasy football drafts at this point, and it is June 1st. So I've drafted a ton from the 109, and I don't want to say what our strategy is out loud. I don't want to give away that information just yet. I do want to give a shout out to a couple people in this draft that are clearly a part of the flock. We have Clutch Cow and Nick J in 23. Part of the flock out here in this draft. Hopefully they're hanging out in the chat as well. Don't know if we just caught them in a random draft room there in the public lobby. Let me pull up this draft to see who we have out here. And I think we've done a better job waiting. Like I said, the entire day I was itching. I wanted to get this going as soon as possible, but I'm on the East Coast, so it's almost 8 p.m. here. But I know that on the West Coast, some of you sorry fellows are still at work. It's 4:40. So I'm trying to wait as long as I can. We'll get a couple drafts going tonight. I don't know how many. Sometimes we go crazy. Sometimes we get 3 or 4. Don't know if we can do that. Clutch Cow is definitely in the chat, and he says it's not going to be Stefon Diggs at the 109. Okay, so maybe he's telling us he's going to get Diggs at the 104. Let's see what he does. Bobby says, love the late start, even on the East Coast, Mason. I'm going to try to get better. The thing is, literally, it's like 5 p.m. and I'm like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? I do not want to write our draft guide. Writing the draft guide, while I will say we put an incredible amount of work into it, and it looks like it's going to be over 200 pages this season, and I'm trying to get it done as soon as I can for everybody. That's not fun. Like, it's something I need to do because it makes me a much better fantasy football player, just going through and doing the research for that draft guide. But oh boy, it is hard work. Not fun at all. Where firing up these live streams, ton of fun. Okay, so Austin Eckler goes at the 106. Seal Export 95. Looks like they auto drafted Derrick Henry. Okay, so they may be on auto. That's something that we're going to have to take note of. And it will change our draft strategy because sometimes you see these auto draft teams come away with 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks, tight ends, and messing up the draft board for everyone, or they potentially go through and draft like 7 running backs in a row, depending on how the draft room flows. So if it is an auto drafter, we have to make sure that we take note of it. Okay, so we go Stefon Diggs. I honestly wasn't expecting it to get Diggs at the 109. I mean, the majority of drafts, even though Stefon Diggs has an ADP of like 8.9, as we saw, I'm seeing Stefon Diggs usually go closer to the 107, 108, very rarely falling to the 109. And Sweet Belly's Barbecue going out with the bully tight end strategy starts us off with Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce. Oh my gosh, that sucks. My initial plan was we were going to go Travis Kelce at the 109, assuming that Stefon Diggs was off the board. Then I was like, oh, well, maybe we'll get Mark Andrews making it back to us in the second. Clearly that doesn't happen. It is what it is. We are going to go through. We are going to continue to hammer in these wide receivers. We're going to take CeeDee Lamb, someone that, yes, his highest finish ever, wide receiver 16, like highest finish ever, wide receiver 16 on a points per game basis. And we are drafting him at the 204. We are drafting him as the wide receiver 6. Hell, he only had like 22.5% of his team's target share last season. I believe there are like 160 something targets with the combination of Amari Cooper as well as Cedric Wilson leaving this offense. So I think there is a strong argument to be made that CeeDee Lamb should be drafted here as the wide receiver 6 overall. And what I also really like is we have to think about our stack potential later on. Now, I'm going to pray. I am going to really hope we get Josh Allen making it to us at the 309 to stack with Stephon Diggs. That's probably not happening, though. It's probably not going to happen. Now, sole import goes Aaron Jones at the 206. Aaron Jones was not best available player according to ADP. I think the best available player according to ADP was actually DeAndre Swift. So they are not on auto draft. It looks like they have their queue set up. Okay, just having to think about this thoroughly. Kamara goes to the 209. Okay. Come on. I don't even know what we're rooting for. It does suck that we didn't get Andrews. I was really hoping we were going to get Andrews in the third. Like, the dream in these drafts is Andrews in the third, Lamar Jackson in the fifth. If that happens, legitimately, you have probably the highest upside start you can find. Like, Mark Andrews can easily be the tight end 1 this upcoming season. Lamar Jackson can easily be the quarterback 1 this upcoming season. And if you're getting that in the second and fifth round and only having to draft 2 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends throughout this 18-round draft, and you can get 6 running backs and 8 wide receivers. Ooh, that is beautiful, beautiful. Okay. And one thing that I need to make sure I say while we are in this draft is, if you want to have fun, if you want to look forward to these live streams, get in drafts with us, if you want to just go get in drafts in the morning like I do, if you want to be a degenerate and get into drafts 24/7, make sure you go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. When you sign up for Underdog Fantasy and you use promo code FLOCK, the most important thing is you will have way more fun on a daily basis. That's the most important thing. If you enjoy fantasy football, I promise you, you're going to have too much fun doing this. Now, you'll also get a deposit match dollar for dollar up to 100 when you use promo code FLOCK. At the same time, you'll get our 2022 rankings. You'll get our 2022 Dynasty Rookie rankings. You'll get our Dynasty Rookie Draft Guide. You'll get so much. Just go to the link in the description. Go to the link in the live chat. Use promo code FLOCK. And let's see where the rest of this draft goes. You have Tyreek Hill making it to the 302. I don't know if I've ever, I'm closing in on almost 100 drafts on Underdog. I don't know if I've ever seen Tyreek Hill make it there. Mike Williams goes to the 306. I have not drafted a lot of Mike Williams this year. Okay, so we are only 3 picks away, and there's a small chance. There is a fighting chance we get our guy in Josh Allen. It's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee by any means. We are 1 pick closer. 1 pick closer, ladies and gentlemen. This team went Najee Harris in the first, A.J. Brown in the second. So if they're going A.J. Brown at pick 17, they are not just following ADP 1 for 1. They are not just blindly following ADP. Maybe they pass on Allen here. Come on. They go Michael Pittman, someone I would have not even considered. There we go. Oh my gosh. Getting Josh Allen here in the third at the 309. I do not even care that we didn't get Mark Andrews here in the second now. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And Andrew says Allen Robinson at the 210 WTF. I did not even notice he went Allen Robinson at the 210. Okay. It looks like we have some fish drafters in here. It looks like we're going to be able to take advantage of some of these drafters. This is a lot better than the usual drafts we have in the live stream where it's just people part of the flock in here drafting with us, and it's brutal. Competition's a lot stiffer. Now you have Cortland Sutton going at the 311. Oh, I'm loving life. This is going to be a great draft, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, this is going to be great. Oh, this is beautiful. If we get Kyle Pitts here, I thought we had him. We were going to go with one of my most drafted wide receivers so far this season. We're going to go with Jalen Waddle as our wide receiver 3. Yes. Situation getting worse with Tyreek Hill coming over. Yes. Tua Tagovailoa, probably a bad quarterback, but Jalen Waddle was a low-end wide receiver 1 last season as a rookie. But dear God, Kyle Pitts at the 403. I really thought we were about to get Kyle Pitts, and I was about to be going crazy. Oh. Okay, so Amari goes at the 405. Darth says, is this a puppy or a best ball mania? This is going to be a puppy draft. If this was a best ball mania, I'd be even more excited. And I know some people are probably wondering how we have passed on running back so far in this draft. Please just wait for me. Wait, I will show you what happens in these drafts at the running back position. There's a chance we get Montgomery. I mean, I've gotten Breece Hall here at the end of the 5th. Like, it's crazy the value you get at running back where wide receiver is going to dry up. So just hear me out. I know everybody watching this already knows, but I'm more so saying this for the people watching it as a video a little later on. Stefan says, Mason is lucky. Derek and I missed this draft. Yes, I am lucky. Like, this is how I am. Like, you should see me on the Stairmaster every morning, just sitting there, walking on my phone, and then spazzing out with people next to me whenever we get someone like Waddle fall into us at the 404. I don't get to do it on the live stream because usually y'all are the ones drafting with me. But if you draft in the public lobby, it's a lot easier. It's even going to be better in August whenever you have the more casual people coming in. But this is what I'm going to, maybe I just try to like tell y'all I'm going to join a puppy draft and I just join Best Ball Mania. That way I can mix it up. Darren Waller goes to the 411. Okay, so Brooklyn Bump. I believe we've been in a draft with him. I don't know if they're part of the flock. Maybe I just randomly seen that name. They go Waller here at the 411. I really like the Waller value, but it is interesting and noteworthy that they are 4 rounds in and have not taken a wide receiver so far. They go David Montgomery at the 502. They've gone 4 running backs. Okay, so if they know what they're doing and they've gone 4 running backs through the first 5 rounds on an underdog draft, you are done drafting running back. You can make it work. You can call a hyper fragile build and you can say, I grabbed Darren Waller. I'm only going to need 2 tight ends. I grabbed 4 running backs. I'm going hyper fragile. We're going to get either 2 or 3 quarterbacks and then we are going to load the boat with receivers and try to win in the best ball format. You can try to do that, but there's something in the back of my mind that says maybe this guy just doesn't know what's going on. Some people hop in these drafts and they just don't have any clue. So maybe he keeps going RB. Let's pull this up. And it looks like this draft room's just letting quarterbacks fall. Lamar Jackson. I was going to say, if Lamar made it to us, the 509, maybe we had a conversation of pulling the trigger with Lamar. But let's see. Seal Import has gone with 0 wide receivers so far. I'd imagine they go Godwin here. If they don't go Godwin, I think that they're probably crazy. And Pack the Cheese has gone Najee, AJ Brown, Michael Pittman, Amari Cooper. And I think there's a strong argument to be made that if Jalen Waddle didn't fall to us in the 4th, maybe I like Jalen Waddle too much. I think there's a strong argument to be made. I should have gone Darren Waller in the 4th because that team started with the bully tight end strategy and potentially that pushes them up the board. Based on where we saw Kittle fall to the 505 and Darren Waller fall to the end of the 4th, it looks like this draft room is just not going to respect tight ends, and Kyle Pitts fell to the 4th round. So maybe I need to not worry too much about that. Okay, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Godwin, a massive value. Let's not overthink it. Let's go ahead and take Godwin, right? The next wide receiver that's going to be available to us, not that pretty. I know people are not going to enjoy this start. It is definitely a very risky start. I will admit that. Very risky. But this team on the end, if they know what they're doing, they have to go. Okay. This was my mistake. This was my mistake, ladies and gentlemen. I assumed that these people knew what they were doing. He just goes 4 running backs and 2 tight ends to start the draft. Looks like he doesn't know. Looks like he's missed the boat. But, dear God, we got to maybe make a pivot. Dobbins is off. Oh, dear God. Going Miles Sanders. This team went Miles Sanders, 20 picks ahead of their ADP. 20 picks ahead of ADP. Okay, let me reset. Let me calm down and figure out what we're doing. I say we don't deviate. We continue with our strategy. We are 0 running backs through the first 6 rounds, ladies and gentlemen. 0 running backs. I'm shaking like a leaf over here. We are going to have to draft 6. Obviously, we're drafting 6. We're going with the 0 RB build. In a best ball format, I think we can get away with it. But the issue is, I am slightly concerned. If you know best ball, if you know that you have 18 roster spots and you can't turn the waiver wire, you know that once you go through 5 rounds and you have 4 running backs, once you go through 6 rounds, you have 4 running backs. These teams really have to stop taking RBs. Like this Brooklyn Bum character cannot even take a running back in the 18th round. Now, why I'm shaking like a leaf is I just don't know if they know that. I don't know if they understand that with how important roster construction is. Maybe they see, oh, A.J. Dillon here in the 6th round looks like good value. I'll pick up some wide receivers in the waiver wire. You can't do it. You can't do it. So let's see. Let's see. I think this draft has a ton of upside, but if these teams, for whatever reason, just donate their $5, well, we'll be in a tough spot. We'll be in a tough spot. Okay. Elijah Moore goes to the 6'10". So we've had a little wide receiver run happen here. I don't want to act like, oh, we knew a wide receiver run was happening. It's just if you look at ADP, wide receivers always go here. It's nothing special. Okay, so real quick, we have over 200 people watching the live stream. If you have not done so already, please go down there, drop a like on the stream. I'm going to try to turn this into a party, okay? We're going to try to get as many drafts as possible going. So if you want 3 drafts tonight, please make sure all you got to do to support the stream is drop a like. It's free and it supports daily videos, daily live streams. Okay, so Doc79 says, love the 0 RB strategy. I think you're doing great. Can get good running backs later. Stack up those wide receivers. This is what I do all the time, my man. The issue is we're on a live stream, and I'm afraid that people are just going to be coming at our throats. But we'll calm down. We'll calm down. Stafford goes to the 703. We have Josh Allen. We want to see these quarterbacks go. We want to see these QBs off the board. Elijah Mitchell ends up going there at the 704. Okay, these 3 teams have 2 running backs, 2 running backs, 3 running backs. I really like Clutch Cow start. Clutch Cow is a part of the flock. I think I saw them in the live chat. They have the Joe Burrow and T. Higgins stack. They got Metcalf at a decent value. Terry McLaurin at a great value. Elijah Mitchell at a good value. I really like that start. Okay, and I don't think we can go Russ. I don't think we can go Brady here. I have my eye on a name that I know people probably are not expecting. Treylon Burks at the 706. Okay, good. We have 5 wide receivers. We want these wide receivers off the board. There we go. We actually get our name. I was not looking at running back. Based on that team earlier going with the 2 tight end build with Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews, I am worried about tight ends getting pushed up a little bit later. If we go Hawkinson here, we leave ourselves with the option to draft only 2 tight ends and potentially not have to grab a third. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to take TJ Hawkinson. I've drafted very little Hawkinson up until this point. Mainly it's because I'm getting so much Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce. I'm reaching on those players. But let's see what transpires from here. Tom Brady goes to the 7-11. Good for us. Yeah, and I'm honestly not dying to grab Dak. Like, we set ourselves up with the potential Dak Prescott stack whenever we took CeeDee Lamb in the 2nd round. But that was with the assumption we weren't getting Josh Allen at pick 33. I didn't think we were getting Josh Allen at pick 33. Okay, Christian Kirk goes to the 802. Hunter Renfrow. Okay, this was a dream for us. Look at this wide receiver run. This is what we needed to happen. We are going to go through. We're going to take Kenneth Walker as our running back 1, a running back that will not catch passes in Seattle, a running back that is playing in a very bad offense, but at the same time, someone that has the frame that he can handle 20 touches a game if need be. And we know this team wants to run the ball over and over and over again. The team went out of their way. Yes, they re-signed Rashad Penny this offseason to a 1-year deal, and Rashad Penny has never managed to stay healthy. So I'm fine taking Kenneth Walker here at the 804. Mark says, smash that like, going for 500 likes to get 5 drafts tonight. Oh my God. I swear to God, if we got 500 likes, I would easily do 5 drafts. But considering it's June 1st, probably not going to happen. In August, that would easily happen, but not in June. Okay, so Cordell Patterson and Tony Pollard go directly after us. Davis says, let's go. First live stream I've been in. Thank you, Davis, for coming out to the stream, my man. I appreciate it. Jerry says, I still trust Cordell Patterson. Yeah, I've been taking Cordell Patterson a lot. I mean, if you look at my exposures, I keep on forgetting that I can just pull these up on my phone. Let me pull up exactly how much Cordell Patterson versus Kenneth Walker I've actually drafted. But I've been taking a decent amount of these running backs. And the big reason is whenever I'm looking at the wide receivers in this range, like someone like Sky Moore, I'm not dying to draft Sky Moore. I'm not dying to draft Chris Olave. So naturally, I have been finding myself taking wide receivers early and getting these running backs in this range. But yeah, let me pull up my exposures. I have at running back 17% Kenneth Walker, 11% Cordell Patterson. So it's not like I'm completely fading Cordell Patterson. Joe says, I'd have taken Travis Etienne over Chris Godwin in your case, in my opinion. 100%. I think if you were to go back in a time machine and you were looking at the strap board, clearly you would prefer going with the running back in round 5. What I was looking at is I was looking at a turn here that had Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins still all on the board. These wide receivers have an ADP over Josh Jacobs. We were looking at a team at the 112 that had not taken a wide receiver through the first 4 rounds. So we are assuming that they were going to be forced to double tap the wide receiver spot at the 5-6 turn. And we usually get Josh Jacobs making it back to us here in the 6th. So I was rolling the dice that we were going to get Chris Godwin and Josh Jacobs instead of Travis Etienne and Rashad Bateman. Hell, the team surprised us. They did something we weren't expecting, but that's going to happen. That's going to happen. That's why we're drafting a crap ton of teams this offseason. Okay, so Marquez Valdes-Scantling at the 901, Aaron Rodgers at the 902. Is Lance already off? Usually Lance goes before Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to fault anybody for going Rodgers over Trey Lance. Okay, so there are 3 names I'm dying for. 3 names that I am dying for here. Nick J in 23. If I had to bet where they were going, Lance. They go Lance. They had Kittle. If they didn't go Lance, dear God, I would have had to banish them. Now, I would have liked Lance. Whenever I said there were 3 players I wanted, Lance was one of those guys. So it's not exciting to see them take Trey Lance, but I think they have to. Okay, so Bearcats here is 1 quarterback, 3 running backs. They go James Cook at the 906 for their 4th RB. Soul Imports has only 3 wide receivers, 4 running backs, and a quarterback. No tight end. Okay. Let's see what they're doing. I think, do they just have a queue set up and they're letting the timer go down every time? I think that's what they're doing. I think every time they've been on the clock, they have that queue set up and let the timer go down. Kadarius Toney off the board. I wasn't looking at Toney. I was not looking at Toney. Pack the cheese. You know they're not going quarterback. They can't go Derek Carr. They already have Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson. They only have 2 running backs. They have 4 wide receivers and no tight end. But we are getting one of our 2 players making it to us regardless. They go Dawson Knox. I was dying for Dawson Knox. I know most people probably would prefer us to go with Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, the perfect 0 running back draft candidate. One of my most drafted running backs, if not my most drafted running back this offseason so far. I'm going to continue to draft him. Over the past 3 years, while yes, he's playing behind Nick Chubb, he's averaged over a top 24 running back finish on a points per game basis. And what happens if Nick Chubb goes down for a significant amount of time? We know he has more upside than that. So if we're drafting Kareem Hunt here as the running back 32, when Nick Chubb's been healthy over the past 3 years, and in that environment, Kareem Hunt's averaged a top 3 finish, whenever they're probably going to pass more with Deshaun Watson coming over and increasing the overall passing game efficiency, knowing Kareem Hunt is utilized in that way and not Nick Chubb. Hell, I'm drafting Kareem Hunt here every chance I get, and I'm loving this draft. I am loving this draft. I would have been probably crying if Dawson Knox and Hunt went at the 907, 908. I know some people maybe want us to go Devin Singletary at the 910 to get the correlation in with Buffalo. I don't really care too much about that, especially when you grab Josh Allen. A lot of his upside is supposed to come from rushing touchdowns. Okay. So Chase Edmonds, Melvin Gordon have the same ADP. Spam the chat. Do you want me to go Chase Edmonds or Melvin Gordon? Spam it right now. The first thing I see, I'm going to go with. You could also make the argument to go Tyler Boyd to get the Week 17 stack when the Cincinnati Bengals play the Buffalo Bills, where there's so much money on the line at that last week here. Okay, first message I saw was Melvin Gordon. So we are going to go Melvin Gordon as our running back 3. I love this running back room. I know people aren't going to agree with us. I know we waited forever to grab our first guy. We waited until the 8th round. But Kenneth Walker, a great running back prospect in a run-first offense. Kareem Hunt, here's what I love about these guys. Kareem Hunt and Melvin Gordon, they both have roles, right? But you're not saying they're going to be high-end running back 2s, mid running back 2s with those roles. No, they're going to be high-end running back 3, low-end running back 2 with the roles that they have behind Javonte Williams and behind Nick Chubb. But they will get touches. And for a best ball format, that's going to be so valuable if they can cycle through with our running back 2 position and keep us afloat. And what's most exciting is both running backs have been seen as bell cow options at different points of their NFL careers. So if something were to occur to Nick Chubb, if something were to occur to Javonte Williams, all of a sudden, this team has league-breaking upside. Like imagine, Nick Chubb goes down, Kareem Hunt's a top 10 running back, and just say in this hypothetical universe, Kenneth Walker breaks out and Kenneth Walker's a high-end running back too. We have Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, Chris Godwin, Rashad Bateman at wide receiver, presumably 4 wide receiver 1s. In this hypothetical world, Josh Allen, hypothetically, the quarterback 1 overall, Hawkinson, a solid tight end, and then if we get these running backs to hit, which they have upside to, oh, I am excited about this draft. I think this is a fantastic, fantastic draft. And this is why we're passing on those running backs early. This is why I'm looking like an idiot when we pass on those guys for Chris Godwin in the 5th round, when we pass on Travis Etienne to get him. But I want to be drafting Kareem Hunt over Chase Claypool. I want to have that in our range of outcomes. I want to have that option. And if we go running backs early, we're going to be stuck taking wide receivers in this range. Okay, so Deshaun Watson goes at the 10-12. Kirk Cousins at the 10-11. Now, I think we're probably going to end up taking 6 running backs still. The question is, can we get away with only having to draft 7 wide receivers with the core that we do have? Usually I'm trying to grab 2 quarterbacks, 6 running backs with a 0 running back build. If you take a running back early, usually you're stopping at 5. 8 wide receivers with taking wide receivers early and 2 tight ends. However, when we go Hawkinson and we don't get one of those top 5 tight end options, I am unsure if we can stop at 2. This is why I was really hoping we got Dawson Knox making it to us in the 9th, also so we could get that double stack with Josh Allen. Okay, Ramondre Stevenson goes at the 11:03. Let's pull this up and, ooh, this draft board's looking pretty. Alexander Madison goes to Clutch Cow at the 11:04. I need to get me some more Alexander Madison. I'm drafting running backs a ton in this range, but I haven't come away with a ton of Madison. And Rashad Penny is so funny, because there are like 3 names on Underdog that never go at their ADP. I've never seen Rashad Penny be drafted at pick 117. Ever. He always goes behind this. So you always think, oh my God, I'm getting a great deal on Rashad Penny. Like, let me look up my exposures to see how much Rashad Penny I've drafted. I love Penny. I've always said he's a fantastic running back. The issue is he just can't stay healthy. I have 12% Rashad Penny. And it's because I'm always sitting here at the pick 129 going, okay, damn, I need a running back. Rashad Penny has an ADP of 170. We'll take him here. We'll take him. And then the next draft, the same thing happens. And the next draft, the same thing happens. GA says, you need 3 tight ends with Hawkinson, ? I think it depends on the next tight end we get, but I think it's a possibility. I do think it's a possibility. I think we're about to make a play, though. We'll see. They go Penny. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to take Gesicki. We're going to mix this up. We're going to go Gesicki. And I think when we have the combination of Mike Gesicki and TJ Hawkinson, here we can potentially, unless we get some crazy value, I don't want to just completely shut out the possibility of going with the 3rd tight end. If we get some crazy value, hell, I'll do it. But I think we can potentially stop now and F you. We see Tua Tagovailoa go directly after at the 11-10, pick 130. The reason I took Gesicki here is we had Jalen Waddle in the 4th round in this draft. So I was saying, okay, well, if we set ourselves up with Gesicki here, we could almost kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We could take Gesicki at pick 129. allowing ourselves to save that extra roster spot where we don't have to spend it on tight end. And then at the same time, we can get Tua Tagovailoa on the way back around and get the double stack with Gesicki and Jalen Waddle. Sadly, it didn't work out that way. Sadly, we are now sitting here with that quarterback spot open and nothing exciting to look at anytime soon. But it is what it is. I think we're still probably going to be done there at 2 tight ends. Okay. I will say the running back that I prefer in this range is actually going to be Michael Carter. Like I lied to you earlier when I said Kareem Hunt was maybe my most drafted running back. It's actually Carter just because I think he is going to have a role at the beginning of the season. And on top of that, he has the handcuff upside if Breece Hall goes down halfway through the year. Now, with that being said, Michael Carter does have an ADP of pick 140. Rachaad White is an ADP of pick 131. So if I'm going to be drafting in 100 of these, I have to acknowledge the ADP gap, acknowledge that a lot of times I am an idiot and I get a lot wrong. So I can't go out there and draft 40% of my leagues with Michael Carter and 0% of my leagues with Rachaad White, which would happen if I took Michael Carter over Rachaad White every single time. So here, I think we need running back. Rachaad White should have a role in the receiving game in Tampa, and he should have upside if Leonard Fournette were to go down. Okay, Jakobi Meyers goes at the 1206. And real quick, like I said, I'm going to get another draft going after this one. Maybe we'll get a third going after that. All I ask is please go down there, drop a like on the live stream, support this channel. And if you want to get in one of these drafts with us, go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. On Underdog Fantasy, you can get in a draft legitimately anytime you want. I am spending way too much time and too much money on Underdog hopping into these drafts, but I got a way you can save money. Just go and with your first time depositing on Underdog Fantasy, use promo code FLOCK and they will match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. And you'll get our rankings, you'll get our draft guide, you'll be able to draft with us in the live stream. Most importantly, you'll have some fun. That's what matters. Go sign up for Underdog Fantasy, use promo code FLOCK, and have some fun. Come on. Okay, so Isaiah Spiller does go at the 12-10. I really like this range of running back. Like if we're looking at the wide receivers in this range, like Jalen Tolbert, maybe you can make the argument, oh, should we go with Tolbert to get the stack in there with CeeDee Lamb, even if we didn't have Dak? I will say, just because you don't have a quarterback, it's not bad to build correlation into passing offenses on your team. Like you are getting a bump up in expected value if you take the wide receiver 1 on a team and then later on take that wide receiver 3, even if you don't have that quarterback. Of course, in a dream world, you have the QB, but it's still something you can do. Santiago says, yo, Mason, sorry I'm a bit late. I'll try to get in the next draft. No, thank you, my man, for coming out. Jayan says, I have 70% of my drafts with Foreman. Oh my gosh, my man. You got to cap yourself, especially with a player like D'Onta Foreman. Like if something happens, I expect D'Onta Foreman to be the running back 2 in Carolina this upcoming season. But what if it is Chuba Hubbard, which is a possibility? You're pretty much locking in a loss for the year. Okay, so David Bell goes to the 1301. Now that we have drafted Kenneth Walker, Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, Rachaad White, I think we are in a range where we can start going back to the wide receiver position. Yeah, we are still loaded up with those top end receivers like CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddle, Chris Godwin, Rashad Bateman. But, ooh, these tight ends are looking appealing. Now, quarterbacks we could go with in this range. I don't think I would take Lawrence. I don't think I would take Winston. We don't have either. We don't have anybody else from those teams. Irv Smith Jr. does indeed go at the 1304. Love that pick with Irv Smith Jr. at the 1304. Like, I think these tight end values like David Njoku, like Hunter Henry, are making our pick of Mike Gesicki look really bad, where we took him at pick 129. But it was so I could try to set up the double stack with Tua Tagovailoa. It's not like I'm in love with Gesicki there. Okay. Let's figure this out where we are going. Lawrence is also one of these players that, yeah, it just always seems like he's sitting at the top of ADP list. I don't know who's taking Trevor Lawrence at pick 170. Okay, Solo Export, this is the team that just lets it run down every single time. I don't know why they set their queue and let it run down instead of just drafting him, but you do you. Okay, this team only has one tight end. That tight end is Dawson Knox. I'm unsure if you draft Dawson Knox, if you think you can stop with him. He goes Tyler Algier. I think we we have to go wide receiver here, because even if we wanted a Darrell Henderson, a James Robinson, a Kenneth Gainwell, the teams after us, 5 running backs. You draft 5 running backs so far through, you're done drafting RB. This team took 4 running backs like through the first 6 rounds. So yeah, I think that we have to go George Pickens, lock in a wide receiver, because I know we are going to get one of these running backs making it back to us on the turn. And with the wide receivers, we don't know how far of a drop off we should expect. Okay, so Darrell Henderson goes directly at the 13-10. How many running backs does that team have? Dear God. Dalvin Mixon, Travis Etienne, Devin Singletary, Dameon Pierce, Darrell Henderson. I think if you go running back in the first and second round and then go ahead, okay, this team at the end just has no idea what they're doing. They just go Emmanuel Sanders at the 13-12. T.Y. Hilton at the 14-01. Are they throwing in the towel here? I may need to end up reporting this team to Underdog. Real quick, if you ever see someone doing anything crazy like this in a puppy draft or Best Ball Mania, like taking Emmanuel Sanders and T.Y. Hilton in the 13th and 14th, there's a chance they just don't know what's going on. There's also a chance they're doing something a little shady. So I would go ahead and I would just report him to Underdog. Now, I think we have to go running back. The reason being, we'll take James Robinson. I'm obviously worried with the torn Achilles, but it's pick 160. The reason being is this team here, Kuba, took 6 of them. Literally, their wide receiver core, Hollywood, Ayuk, Renfro, Watson, Pierce. These team's dead. And they wasted the start of getting Kyle Pitts at pick 39, too. They literally got Kyle Pitts at 39, and they decided to throw it away. Dear God. Philip says, so bad at drafting, they get reported. LOL. The thing is, if you report, Underdog has things in place. It's like online poker, kind of. Obviously, Underdog's not poker, but if you play online poker, they have things in place to tell people are cheating. And also, you can go through and report them. So Underdog would go and check it out. Like, it's not like they're getting auto banned. Okay, so Jameis Winston at the 1407. Lawrence still falling. Lawrence had an ADP of 147. We're closing in on pick 165. So I was talking about who's drafting Trevor Lawrence? Who's keeping his ADP that high? Real quick, we are about to pass 150 likes in the live stream. Thank you so much for everybody going down there and dropping a like. We will get another draft going after this one. Not even going to say, oh, if we get this many likes. No, we're getting another one going after this one. Thank you all so much for coming out. I do appreciate it. Okay, Kenneth Gainwell goes to the 1408. Keel Herbert goes to the 1409. We have 5 RBs. Like, I'm chilling. Like, y'all continue to take these running backs. We'll just let some value fall to us a little bit later. We're probably going to draft through the first... Yeah, we'll go through the first 17 rounds and queue up some players on the turn for 18, and then we'll go to our next draft immediately. I want to try to get as many of these going as I possibly can. I was able to hold off the itch and wait on the draft until later today. So, hopefully. Andrew says, you sound salty you didn't get Kyle Pitts. Last night, I joined a draft, and this dude took Ritter at the 112 and Matt Corral at the 201. Yeah, that guy's getting banned. Like, Underdog's just going to go through and ban him. But if you ever see anything like that, please reach out to him just so they can ban him faster than usual. Robert says, I was in your puppy draft last week. We were both 0 running backs for quite some time. I stacked Allen and Diggs. Man, that is exciting. I stacked Diggs earlier this morning in a draft. I went through, and I didn't get them like this. We weren't at the 109. I'm not going to do this on the live stream just because I think people are going to make fun of us for it. But there's an argument to be made to reach on a player dramatically at the beginning of the draft to create unique combinations. This is something we've been talking about for a while. Hayden Winks actually just put out an article about this as well. But we took Stephon Diggs at, I believe, the 103 to set up T. Higgins at the end of the second, and then Josh Allen at the beginning of the third. That way we could go through and build a unique combination for that week 17 matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills. But I'm doing that in the public lobby. I'm not doing that on the live stream. And I think maybe we end up taking Lawrence even without a stack. Higbee goes to the 1505. We'll see what happens here. Will Fuller goes to the 1506. Soul Import. They only have one quarterback as well. They go Daniel Jones. Something happened to Lawrence that I don't know about. So the thing is, players that we could stack with quarterbacks later on, yeah, we could get Goff and stack him up with Hawkinson, but how important is that actually? If we just think we're going to get a much better quarterback option here in the 15th with Lawrence, yeah, we're probably just going to take Trevor Lawrence. We don't have a stack. I'm not going to make the argument we have James Robinson. No, we don't have a stack. But he has an ADP of 147. We're getting him at 177. He's a different bye week as Josh Allen as well. So we'll go ahead and take him here at the end of the 15th. Okay, so Darrell Williams goes at the 15-10. Mark says, do that in the first round of the draft, for example, not the fourth. Oh, yeah, exactly. So if you think about it, if you're going to go through, if you're going to reach on a player in the middle of the fourth round, hell, that player in another draft's fallen around. So you're not creating a unique combination of guys. Like once you're in rounds 3, 4, 5, you can't be reaching on guys multiple rounds. It's not necessarily going to be something very smart to do. If anything, you're just setting yourself up for disaster. Okay, so now we still need one more running back and 2 more receivers. 1 running back and 2 receivers to round out this draft. Kendrick Bourne of the 1601. So this team only has 1 tight end. I'd imagine Luis probably ends up going Noah Fant here. Noah Fant, 22 picks behind his ADP. His 1 tight end right now is Rob Gronkowski. He goes Mostert. Is that his 6th running back? Noah Fant goes directly after. I'm interested to see him go Mostert. Donovan Peoples-Jones or Jamal Williams. With the 0 RB team, I'm going to go ahead and take Jamal Williams. I mean, with Jamal Williams, he's a running back that should have a role on a week-to-week basis. And on a 0 running back build, that is going to be valuable. And he will have upside for more if DeAndre Swift were to miss time. So let's go through, show off this draft board for anybody who's just now coming in. We selected at the 109 here. We started this build with Stefon Diggs in the first. I'm very proud of this team. We did not go with the running back until the 8th round. But I think we pieced it together nicely. Kenneth Walker, Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, Rachaad White, James Robinson, and now Jamal Williams, the running back position. We are going to be done at running back. We're going to go through and take either 1 more receiver and 1 tight end or 2 more wide receivers. Let's look at our wide receiver position again. We have Stefon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, Chris Godwin, Rashad Bateman as our top 5 guys, or 6 players, George Pickens. And we probably should just go ahead and let me know. What do you think? Do you think I should go and take a 3rd tight end, or do you think we should just continue to slam these receivers? Klondike says, new sub, love your channel. Thank you, my man, so much for supporting. I genuinely appreciate it. J.D. McKissick at the 1609. Okay, this team, what are you doing? There were so many teams in this draft that are just completely lost. Is this what drafting at night is like? This team went through and took Breece Hall, Ramondre Stevenson, and Isaiah Spiller at running back and have not taken another player since. Oh my gosh. I think we need to fire up these drafts at night. I need to stop drafting in the morning. I think when we're drafting in the morning, we're just going up against grinders. Brian Robinson, D'Onta Foreman at the turn. I have so much Brian Robinson and so much D'Onta Foreman as well. Grudzgar says, can we join in the next draft from the app? Yes. It doesn't have to be from a computer. It can be from an app, a computer, whatever you're on, my man. Okay, so Matt Breida at the 1702. Breida is someone that I could see the reason in drafting him, and he's not really being drafted at all at this point. Uncle Andy says, I like to do 3 running back builds sometimes. Yeah, but if you're going with the 3 running back build, you better be getting like Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, and Travis Etienne. You're not getting Breece Hall, Ramondre Stevenson, and Isaiah Spiller. And that's your 3 running back build. You're just punting. They go ahead and they take Keontae Ingram as their 4th guy here. But still, that is brutal. Brutal, brutal. Stefan says, yeah, probably more casuals draft that night. Addicts like me draft at 4 a.m. I haven't had that bad of an issue yet. We haven't gotten a draft at 4 a.m. quite yet. Okay, so Nick J in 23 here. Let's go ahead. And I guess, you know what? We're just drafting 2 more wide receivers, so let's just go and queue these players up. I'm not even going to show who we're queuing. We already showed the draft board. Y'all don't need to see my 16th and 17th rounds. But let's queue these up. And we're going to hop into another draft right now. Of course, thank you so much if you stuck with us through this entire first one. Okay, I think we have about... Okay, we have enough guys queued up from this. Let's move over to... Do I want to tell y'all which one we're getting in here? I know the answer. I don't want to tell y'all which one we're getting in. I don't want to share this with y'all. I'm not going to be an ass, though. I will. But what I would recommend is don't get in a draft on a live stream. Apparently, they're going to be a lot harder than those random drafts we're joining at night. We'll go with the puppy. We'll go with the puppy. Please don't have many spots. Oh, god dang. There's 7 spots open. Okay, so we're going to be drafting with some people from the flock here. This is going to be a battle. This is going to be a grind. We are full. Where are we drafting? The 105. Not too much experience at the 105. Usually I'm at the 101, 102, 103, 110, 111, 112, and nothing in between. Like, it's been very weird where we've been drafting. Okay. Mercury coming out says, Darren Waller, the dark horse, tight end 1. If Davante Adams didn't come over, I'd agree with you. If Davante Adams didn't come over, I'd agree. But now... I don't know. Seems difficult. Seems difficult for him to be able to overcome that Davante Adams black hole in the Las Vegas Raiders offense. If he can do it, great. I'd be happy for him, but it would be surprising. Cole says, finally got in a draft with you. I am a West Side. Okay, so let's see where West Side is going to be picking. Okay, that is the 108. Who we got a lot. We got a lot of members of the flock here. I believe, please correct me if I'm mistaken. Clutch Cow, Firestarter, No Soup for You, Walter's Picks, Kelsey at the 102, mixing it up here, talking about getting a unique start. Cooper Kupp goes to the 103. Interesting to get that start with Kelsey. Jefferson goes to the 104. I think we go McCaffrey. We go McCaffrey and hope that someone that usually goes at the beginning of the second falls to the end of the second and we get a unique start that way. So not too many drafts are having a different player inside the top 4, having CMC fall to pick 5. So it's setting up to be interesting. Like if we end up getting a CeeDee Lamb, if we end up getting a Mark Andrews, if we end up getting a Davante Adams, if we get one of those players falling to us at pick 20, this could win us $75K. It's not as exciting as the Best Ball Mania where we can say, oh, this could win us $2 million, but it is what it is. Dalvin Cook goes at the 109. And I am just trying to think, how do I never draft Ja'Marr Chase? I literally, like, if you look across all my drafts, I think we have like 1.2% Ja'Marr Chase. And I don't even dislike Chase. It's that I'm taking Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, McCaffrey over him. That's it. And the very few times I've ever gotten the 105, seems like Chase either goes beforehand or you have something like this happening where Kelsey goes to the 102. It is crazy. Chris says Jefferson fell to the 105. Yeah, Jefferson's at the 105 all the time. That's not too rare. That's another reason. Sometimes I'm the 105, we get Justin Jefferson. Derrick Henry makes it all the way to the 112 here. Yeah, Mark Andrews going before Kelsey. Oh, you have to be excited about this. Not many teams are going to have the combination of Derrick Henry and Najee Harris. See where Dab K takes it? Robert says, am I crazy for liking Andrews over Kelce this year? I personally love them both. I've been drafting the hell out of them. Like, I've been drafting so much Mark Andrews and so much Travis Kelce. Here, this is going to be a unique build. Mark Andrews has an ADP, unless I'm mistaken, unless it's gone up, about 16. Deebo Samuel has an ADP of about 17. There are not many teams that have taken that combination of players. Adams goes to the 203. If Kelce were to fall to us, I'm probably throwing my computer against the wall. Like, I don't know what I would do, but it's not happening. Oh no, Kelce went at the 102. I'm an idiot. I wasn't even checking the board. Okay, so Mike Evans goes to the 206. Yeah, so it looks like we're not going to have a unique combination of players after all. Does suck. I do think we have to take CMC there at the 105 when he falls, regardless. See where Walter decides to go. They went Eckler here with pick 6. Are they on auto? They may be. Yeah, they go Aaron Jones. Oh my gosh. This freaking sucks. Trying to figure out what we're actually going to do. Tyreek Hill just feels so gross to draft, but I want a receiver. We're going to go Higgins. We're reaching on T. Higgins at the 208. I have a plan. Tyreek Hill goes immediately after the 209. Alvin Kamara at the 210. Just hear me out on this one. Let us wait till the 3rd, see if it works out. I was really hoping that we were getting someone like Mike Evans, getting someone like Aaron Jones making it to us at pick 20, but hell. That's life. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Barkley goes at the 302. Mike Williams goes to no soup for you. I personally cannot be drafting Mike Williams a ton in this range. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take Josh Allen here. This is going to be our second draft in a row with Josh Allen. I know the thumbnails, David Montgomery probably should have made the thumbnail Josh Allen. It looks like when we get stuck in no man's land here at the 2-3 turn, I have just been kind of throwing in the towel like I just did and saying, hell, we know that Josh Allen and T. Higgins face off in week 17. Might as well go through and grab T. Higgins because I don't really see a massive difference between Higgins, Hill, A.J. Brown, Mike Williams, and Keenan Allen, and just get Josh Allen in the middle of the 3rd. Javonte Williams makes it all the way to the 307. Obviously, a massive value on Javonte. Michael Pittman goes at the 309. I know not many people are going to like this start. Not going to lie, I don't like this start either. It is what it is. But if you have a strong opinion, like I'm trying to think, what else, like how can you get creative without sacrificing upside at the 2-3 turn outside of this? If we go Higgins and Javonte, like the thing is everybody has Higgins and Javonte. Pitts would have really been my only other consideration at pick 29. Okay, so we have a wide receiver run happening here at the end of the 3rd. And real quick, I realize we have not said this draft, so bear with me. Go sign up to Underdog Fantasy. Link in the description. That's where we're drafting. That's where we draft every single day. I hope you can tell how much fun I am having here. If you go sign up and use promo code FLOCK, they'll match your deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. And on top of that, you'll get our 2022 rankings. You'll be able to get our 2022 Dynasty rankings, our Dynasty Rookie Draft Guide, our rookie rankings, and most importantly, you'll be able to have some fun. Okay. So Waller goes to the 402. Tilly Toes 23. 3 wide receivers in a row with Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf goes here in the 4th. I really don't like this team at the very end of the 3rd round, reaching on Kyler Murray at the 401. Like, if you're looking at that combination of Hollywood Brown and Kyler goes to the 5-6 turn all the time. Like, I would love to try to push these quarterbacks up the board. I mean, we have Josh Allen's good for us to see quarterbacks go and push value down to us a little bit later on. But hell, I like the idea of setting up the stack with Kyler, but why are you reaching 20 picks on his ADP to get him, or 24 picks? Amari goes to the 406. Speaking of reaching on players, buckle up, Buttercup. We're about to reach to the bottom of the barrel. Okay, Walter's picks has yet to go wide receiver. Eckler, Aaron Jones, Kyle Pitts to start us off. McLaurin goes, we are going to reach to the bottom of that barrel, pull out George Kittle from it. If we were going through and looking, I always want to start with one of those elite tight ends and an elite quarterback to create that 2-6-8-2 build. Maybe we stop with 5 because we have Christian McCaffrey, depending on where we go running back in the middle rounds. And also, we look at Dark out here going and creating that bully tight end build where they have Mark Andrews, they have Darren Waller. You had Kelsey go at the 102 over here. So maybe this is just setting up a very aggressive draft room at the tight end position. So every time that I'm going through and I'm drafting, I'm trying to look for these nuances. Like, if you see a team take Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, you need to understand that quarterbacks are probably going to go a little bit earlier than their ADP, given the fact that one team kind of monopolized the top end of the position. And that's what you're seeing as well when someone goes Mark Andrews and Darren Waller. Okay, Sutton goes to the 501. Good. Always happy to see Courtland Sutton off the board. Let's pull this back up. No soup for you. 2 running backs, 2 receivers. Kamara, Zeke, Cooper Kupp, and Mike Williams. So running back's clearly the best value. It's just, do you roll the dice and assume that the draft room doesn't completely devalue the position? Brees Hall goes. Everybody that has half a brain cell screaming at me to go Gabriel Davis right now. Given the tournament setting in the fantasy football playoffs, I just hate. I'm going to throw up doing it. Okay? It's the grossest thing I probably have ever done in my entire life. Going with Gabriel Davis ahead of Chris Godwin. Gabriel Davis ahead of David Montgomery. I wouldn't take Gabriel Davis over Etienne. I wouldn't take Gabriel Davis over J.K. Dobbins. The thing is, we are setting ourselves up with a potential shootout week 17 for the championship week if somehow this team makes it there. And if we have that set up with Josh Allen and Gabriel Davis and then T. Higgins is the bring back, it's nice, but it's ugly. It is ugly, and I hate doing it. But if you want to make an argument for it, you can say, oh my God, there are like 200 targets available with Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley leaving. Oh, Gabriel Davis had 201 receiving yards, 4 receiving touchdowns in a playoff game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, you can sit here and try to make an argument for it. I'm not going to. I'm going to admit, yeah, it's gross, but I think from a roster construction standpoint, we kind of have to do it. Because the thing is, there's no way he makes it back. Okay, so Travis Etienne goes to the 5-10. It's going to be funny if this team's what I really want to happen. Like, I'm drafting a ton off the live stream as well, but I want us to win something massive, like win the puppy draft, win $75,000, win puppy 2, win $75,000, win puppy 3, win $75,000, or win Best Ball Mania and win $2 million. Honestly, I don't even really want the money. What I want is I want us to do it on the live stream so I can go through and I can create a reaction live stream to that one and go and just look at that draft, because I think it would be the best YouTube video of all time. Can you imagine? Like, we look back at this 6 months from now and this team won $75,000. Can you imagine how crazy that would be? That'd be ridiculous. Okay, so A.J. Dillon ends up going at the 601. Okay, so Cecil Ross out here just going crazy. This pisses me off. Look at this. How many teams do you think have the combination of Derrick Henry and Najee Harris? You are blessed from the heavens to start off your draft with Derrick Henry at the 112, Najee Harris at the 201. At that point, it is on you. You have one job and one job only. Don't mess it up. Do not mess it up. I feel like we probably messed up our draft, but we are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Hell, you were stuck between two fluffy pillows. You had Derrick Henry and Najee Harris in the 1-2 turn. Just take Hollywood Brown, Darren Waller. Have Kyler Murray fall to you in the 5th. Take Josh Jacobs in the 6th. Like, what are we doing? Why are we going crazy there? You freaking have Najee Harris and Derrick Henry on the same team. Nobody else has that. Okay, Jalen Hurts looking like great value. I've reached on Jalen Hurts at the beginning of the beginning of the 6th before to make sure that we can go through and build around 2 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends. Don't think we can take Jalen Hurts here, however, whenever we have Josh Allen. Okay, so let's just go slam some wide receivers. Nothing else for us to do. We have the elite tight end. We have the elite quarterback. We have the anchor running back. At this point, you're just picking wide receivers out of a bucket. We'll go Elijah Moore, pick 68. Nothing special about Elijah Moore. He's just a wide receiver in this tier. Brandon says, if this team won anything, of course it would make an awesome YouTube. That's what I'm wanting. I'm also wanting for us to have, just say like a Best Ball Mania team sneaks through. This would be a successful season. A Best Ball Mania team sneaks through, makes it inside the top 10. That way, whenever we are at the very end of the season, week 17, and we're watching that team possibly have a chance at winning $2 million, we can have a live stream watch party. Talk about legendary stuff there. Like that's what I'm wanting. More than the money or anything. I'm just wanting to have that watch party with $2 million on the line, sweating it out on the channel. Okay. So pick 77. We are going to be up here, and Elijah Mitchell goes. I have an idea. Hear me out. We'll talk about it a little bit later on. Let's go ahead and take Ayuk. We get Brandon Ayuk as our wide receiver 4. I think we want to continue to just go through and slam these wide receivers in this range. Wide receivers getting pushed up this draft board ever so slightly. I like the idea of passing on tight end here with Dalton Schultz and TJ Hawkinson with the hope that we are actually able to get Dawson Knox a little bit later on to get the double stack there with Josh Allen and George Kittle. Even though those tight ends in this range, a fantastic value. Not going to fault anybody for going Hawkinson. Not going to fault anybody for going with Dalton Schultz. Okay, so Brady, Sky Moore go off the board of the 708, 707. Sky Moore is not a player I've been drafting a lot this year. Like Brandon Ayuk, you saw Brandon Ayuk post, I believe, the wide receiver 16th season on a per game basis as a rookie. Let me pull this up to make sure. But this is why I also like going through and writing that draft guide, so I can just pull up random things like that off the top of my head. I think we wrote the Brandon Ayuk chapter 3 or 4 days ago, and I know he had a very impressive rookie season. Like, you don't remember how good Brandon Ayuk was as a rookie, but let me pull up our draft guide so I can tell you how good Brandon Ayuk was as a rookie right now. Brandon Ayuk was a wide receiver that came out, and if this will search, dear God, what are we doing here, Google Docs? Okay, looks like we gotta manually find this. Maybe we're not gonna be able to. Okay. Brandon Ayuk as a rookie had a 22% team target share. And if we look at wide receivers that had 22% of their team's targets and 8 targets a game since 2010, you have Odell Beckham Jr., Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Jalen Waddle, Kelvin Benjamin, Brandon Ayuk, Sammy Watkins, and Mike Williams. Mike. Yeah. Pretty good list. Pretty good list to be a part of. Okay. So after we take Ayuk, oh my God. Dabk reaches on Lance. The reason we took Ayuk is because we had Kittle in the 4th. We were going to get a Lance at pick 92, but sometimes this is what you deal with when you're drafting on the live stream. Maybe I'm just spazzing, but Lance with an ADP of almost 96 goes 10 picks ahead of his ADP. Goes ahead of Matthew Stafford. Does this team have Debo? This team doesn't even, and this team does have Debo. I'll give you the pass in that one. That's the main reason we win Ayuk, is so we could hopefully get a Lance on the way back around, but it is what it is. Sometimes it's not going to work out and you have to be okay with it. Okay, Kirk goes to the 804. Lockett goes to the 805. Walker, the 805. I was hoping we were going to get Kenneth Walker back-to-back drafts with Allen and Kenneth Walker. Very rarely do I do this. But because I feel like the player that we are going to be getting with pick 101, like, what's the difference between Christian Watson and Russell Gage for me, realistically, if they're going to be our wide receiver 5? I don't see a massive gap between those guys. I would not do this if I was in a public lobby. However, because we are on the live stream, people like to go through and people like to snipe us. So we're going to go ahead and reach on Dawson Knox. I do not think you should go through and reach to complete your stacks, because, hell, if we get to that final tournament, someone else is going to have the same stack as us, but they, instead of getting Knox in the 8th, we're able to get him in the 9th. And we are just going to be outgunned in that scenario. But, there's a big but, I think the player we're getting in the 8th versus 9th round is about the same. And real quick, we are about to pass 200 likes on the live stream. If you have not done so already, please go down there, drop a like. If this live stream gets 250 likes, we've had 1,500 views on it. 250 likes, we'll get another draft going after this one. Please go down there and drop that like. Okay, so you have Aaron Rodgers at the 901, Chris Olave at the 902. Okay, kind of whatever here. Don't really care. We cannot grab another tight end. When we take Kittle and Dawson Knox as early as we did, we're done at tight end. So Dallas Goedert looks like great value, but we can't take him. We are strictly quarterback, running back, and receiver from now on. Kareem Hunt goes. Back in the day, I would just say, oh, we have Allen. Let's go and take another Buffalo player. Let's go get Devin Singletary. But I think there is an opportunity cost when you already have the double stack set up to continue to stack an offense, and it will lower your overall upside if you don't have enough one-offs for that Week 17 matchup. So we'll go ahead and take Damian Harris at pick 101. Don't love me, Damian Harris. This is a running back that has no usage in the receiving game whatsoever, which is concerning. Also, it's very hard to predict the New England backfield on a week-to-week basis or season-to-season basis. But if we're getting him pick 101, his ADP is 93, we will go ahead and take him. Let me know if y'all think I should have just taken Cordell Patterson in the 8th and rolled the dice that Dawson Knox made it back to us in the 9th. I would love to know your opinion on that. Okay, so Dallas Goedert goes to the 907. Very good for us. Once we have Kittle, once we have Dawson Knox, we have to hope that some of these tight ends come off the board. Carson says, how is my team looking at the 107? Okay, let's go through and let's check this out for Carson. This is going to be the Ja'Marr Chase team. Very few teams are going to have Chase here at pick 7. Like the idea of going, oh my gosh, you have a great team here. Chase at 7, Mike Williams at the 206, Javonte. You get the Brady and Mike Evans stack at a reasonable price in the 7th. What have you done at tight end? You get Dallas Goedert in the 9th. I was about to say, I was slightly concerned about your tight end position. I would say, if you held off to get Goddard until the 9th, I personally am drafting 3 tight ends. I think there's an argument from some people to only take 2. I would go 3. But overall, I really like your team. Like, you sniped us on Kenneth Walker. I would prefer Drake London over Elijah Moore as well. Chris Godwin, I would prefer him over Gabriel Davis if we didn't have Josh Allen. Yeah, I really like that team. Okay, so let's get this pulled up. Kadarius Toney goes at the 9-12. I don't even know if we want to see wide receivers or running backs fall. Kind of need a little bit of both. I think when we go Damian Harris and Christian McCaffrey to start us off, we're probably stopping at 5 RBs. Singletary goes to the 102. Ooh. 4 players I really want. 4 players I would really like on this team. Let's see if any of them make it to us. If I wasn't on live stream, we would go through and queue them up right now, but I do not want people to snipe us. Okay, Chase Edmonds off the board. Christian Watson off the board. Wesley Dion goes Zach Ertz. Okay, good for us. We don't need tight ends here. We're done at tight end. Okay, so this is the team we just looked at. They have 2 running backs, 5 receivers, and a tight end. They take our guy, Tyler Boyd. We were hoping to continue to stack that Week 17 matchup, get Tyler Boyd coming in. It doesn't happen. It is what it is. This team Walter picks here, I'd imagine goes Jameson Williams. They have 3 wide receivers. Their 3 wide receivers are Terry McLaurin, Robert Woods. This is going to be, I don't want to say this team's dead, but they have 4 wide receivers right now, 3 of whom are going to miss the beginning of the season. Robert Woods, Michael Gallup, Jameson Williams. It seems like that's tough to overcome. We were talking about not wanting to go overboard with drafting players from one team, but if we were getting James Cook 9 picks behind his ADP, James Cook was a very good pass-catching running back at Georgia. Hell, we'll go through. We'll take him. For complete transparency, the players that we wanted to make it back to us were Chase Edmonds, Christian Watson, Tyler Boyd, or James Cook. I wanted one of those guys. I don't know if James Cook would have been my first choice, but hell, at least we got one of them. Thomas says, Joe Burrow just went at pick 93, close to 30 picks past his ADP in another puppy draft. Oh, that is great, my man. I hope you're the guy who drafted him. Deshaun Watson at the 11:03. God dang, these people are picking fast on the turn. Okay, and they're passing on tight end, which sucks for us. We are done at tight end, so we are quarterback, running back, wide receiver. I think we're probably going to go running back. The wide receivers here are so gross. Like, they're so bad. And we're taking 9 wide receivers with this team. Let's go ahead and grab Ronald Jones as our running back 4. I think the running backs are the best value here. And I honestly probably take another running back on the way back around, and we stop at 5, which seems gross at the wide receiver position. We have an elite tight end. We have the elite quarterback. We hopefully have the elite running back if somehow, some way CMC stays healthy. We're just going to have to go through and we're going to have to hammer 9 wide receivers and hope we can catch some random spike weeks. Okay, Frymuth goes to the 11:06. Thank God. Get these tight ends off the board. Stop taunting us here. Gesicki at the 11:07. Okay, was it on? I'm imagining they're done at receiver. Yeah, they go Dameon Pierce. Patrick says, what's the promo code again? Assuming that he's trolling me, but thank you for reminding me to say it. Go sign up Underdog Fantasy. Get in a draft with us. Have some fun. Use promo code FLOCK. It's behind me. It's on the bottom. Promo code FLOCK will A, unlock a ton of fun for you if you hop into these drafts. B, you'll save some money because they'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. C, you'll be able to crush these drafts because you'll get our rankings, my dynasty rankings, our dynasty rookie draft guide. And D, you will support this channel, support this stream, and we'll continue to bring this content every single day. So thank you. Okay. So OG says, I just tuned in. Are you doing another one after this? If we get 250 likes in the live stream, yes, we're doing another one after this. Okay, so Devontae Parker falls all the way to pick 131. I would have loved Devontae Parker making them back to us at the end of the 12th, but that just wasn't realistic. Okay, so let's figure out, running backs still best available. Quarterbacks that we could potentially have. Fields, I'm fine taking unstacked because with Justin Fields, a lot of that upside is based on his rushing ability, not necessarily the passing offense. So I'm fine taking him without one of his pass catchers. We're looking at quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. We are done at tight end. We are hoping to see some tight ends off the board, but we personally are done. And if I knew we were going to be able to get Dawson Knox later, if I knew we were going to have James Cook later, if I knew we were going to have Jamison Crowder staring at us in the face later, oh my gosh, I would pay any amount of money for a time machine to go back to round 5 and to pass on Gabriel Davis and take Chris Godwin. Pass on Gabriel Davis and take Travis Etienne. Oh, dear God. Someone take Jamison Crowder. Please, for the love of God, take Crowder. Do not make us even think about it. So how many Bills do we have? We have Josh Allen, James Cook, Gabriel Davis, Dawson Knox. You can't take 5 players from one team. I used to think you could. I used to think that. Math has proven us incorrect. They're not taking any tight ends. Look at these tight ends that are up on the top of ADP. It is what it is. We are going to have to adjust. And our adjustment is, hell, if they don't leave us wide receiver values early, they eventually have to stop taking them, and we take 9. There you go, Crowder. We don't even have to think about it. We're going to go through. We're going to take Michael Carter. One of my most drafted running backs, a player that will have a role as a receiver at the very beginning of the season, and then he will have upside for more if Breece Hall goes down later on. And now we are done at running back as well. We are drafting 2 positions from here on out. We are going to have 1 quarterback, and we are going to have 5 more receivers. It's going to get a little wild. Let's go through and, dear God, our last draft was beautiful. It was beautiful. And what was the difference between the last draft and this one? The last draft, there were 1 or 2 people from the live stream on it. This draft was almost entirely filled with people from the live stream. God. It's fun drafting without y'all. It's tough drafting with y'all. Let's pull this up. Running back still at the top ADP. Njoku gone. Thank God. Look at these tight ends that just went off the board. That's what we needed. Now we are on the clock. Now we are only looking at 2 positions. Quarterback, wide receiver. George Pickens is so much better than Jalen Tolbert. Tolbert's playing in a better offense. However, we'll go Jalen Tolbert. I mean, if you're looking at Jalen Tolbert, he has an ADP of 6 picks ahead of George Pickens. So if his ADP is 6 picks ahead of George Pickens, we're drafting 100 of these teams. We'll still get George Pickens a little bit later on. But when Jalen Tolbert is available, we probably have to go through and take him. Okay, so let's pull this up. Robbie Anderson goes directly after us. I do like the Robbie Anderson pick. Darrell Henderson's also been a player I've been drafting a lot because if you're looking at Darrell Henderson, very similar to some of these other 0 running back candidates that we have, guys like Michael Carter. He has a small role, and that role could expand with an injury in the backfield. That's what I'm looking for at this time of the year. Okay, Hunter Henry, Tyler Higbee going at the end of the 13th. Exactly what we are needing. This team here, Tilly Toes, doesn't even have a tight end. Let's see how many tight ends are. Okay, so yeah, no tight ends are best available. Maybe they reach a Noah Fant. I probably would be surprised. Who do they have at quarterback? They have Derek Carr, Dak Prescott. Yeah, so they're not going to have tight end options there. Winston goes at pick 155. If we're talking about potential stacks that we could have as our second QB, obviously we took Ayuk to have the potential setup with Trey Lance, which ended up not working out. If we're looking at other guys, maybe we could go Zach Wilson. I guess that's it. I'm not dying to have Zach Wilson on this team. I probably wouldn't take him here. Daniel Jones goes at the 13-12. Okay, so quarterbacks are kind of going high. Quarterbacks are sliding up if you're getting Jameis Winston and Daniel Jones here at the end of the 13th, beginning of the 14th. But this is also the team that took Kyler Murray in the 4th, the 401. Not just the 4th, 401, pick 37. And they just took James Washington the 14th. Guys, can I hide my screen from y'all when we get in our next draft? Can I be in as many drafts as possible with these people? It's probably good for y'all as well to get in random drafts. I know it's fun getting in a draft on live stream. But if we're talking about making money, if you want to win $75,000, it seems very hard to win $75,000 if your draft room everybody knows what they're doing. If you have a couple people that are taking James Washington in the middle, at the beginning of the 14th round, seems like your odds of that probably go up dramatically. Okay, KJ Osborne goes to the 1402. Derek says, first-time viewer, wondering if you have to set lineups every week. Seems like a lot to manage. Pretty funny, my man. Pretty funny. Okay, Lawrence goes to the 1404. Let's see where we are going after this. The team that took Brady doesn't have any Jets. I doubt they go. Zach Wilson, Walter picks. Doesn't have any Jets either. I just don't want to go Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's so gross. Tyler Allgeier's fallen almost, 16 picks according to his ADP so far. We can't go with him. We're done at running back. We've already fired all our bullets at running back. We have 5. He goes Zach Wilson, so we don't even get Wilson. Tannehill, Mac Jones, Jared Goff still on the board. We're going to go ahead and just take Corey Davis. I think Corey Davis is a fine wide receiver for this build. I'm fine continuing to build in correlation in an overall passing offense, even if we don't have their quarterback. That would mean going and drafting both Elijah Moore and Corey Davis on the same team. It's more so just taking a wide receiver here to fit the build, and I think Corey Davis does just that. Nick says, love the content, man. Just sign up for Underdog with promo code FLOCK. Thank you, my dude. I genuinely cannot tell you how much that supports the channel. Thank you, my man. I'm really hoping you do not get in a live stream with us anytime soon unless you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, hell, fire away, my friend. But I will say, if you're just now signing up for Underdog Fantasy, please get in the $5 drafts. They even have $3 drafts. Don't go and start hopping $25 drafts. Don't go into hopping a $100 draft right away. Please take just the bonus money they give you for signing up and get in some practice $3 or $5 drafts, especially because there's only a 30-second timer, so it doesn't seem like that big of a deal whenever I'm picking. Keep in mind, I've done hundreds of these, so it's a lot easier for me to do than your first time in here if you're not used to a 30-second timer. Marvin Jones goes... I think we have an easy pick. Just continue to slam receiver. Go Will Fuller. I've drafted a lot of Will Fuller so far. I mean, you're essentially just hoping that he ends up signing with Cleveland. And if Will Fuller gives you 1 to 2 spike weeks in a best ball format, you're going to be a very happy individual. Okay, so we have 3 rounds left. We need 1 more quarterback and 2 more receivers. So here's what I'm going to do. Despite a wide receiver or quarterback's best available player, when we get to round 16, probably going to take a quarterback. That way I can just go through and queue up a bunch of receiving options because it looks like we are probably going to get to 250 likes by the time this draft is over. Let me remind you all, if this live stream gets to 250 likes, we are going to get another draft going after this one. We are right now at 240. So 10 more. Derek says, great advice for the newbies to stick to $5 drafts unless I'm in a $25 draft. If so, jump on in. Yeah, the water's warm. Jump on in if you don't know what you're doing and do a $25. Please don't. Please. They even have $3 drafts. Go sign up for a $3 draft. Like, just get some practice in. Okay, Everett goes at the 15-10. KJ Hamler at the 15-11. Okay, so some wide receivers going here at the end of the 15th. Obviously, nothing to cry about. That's just what we should come to expect. This is Cecil. They go Keontae Ingram. What is up with teams that don't know what they're doing taking Keontae Ingram? Their 6th running back when they had Derrick Henry. They literally got Derrick Henry and Najee Harris on the same team, and they ruined it. What else could you... You got Derrick Henry and Najee Harris on the same team. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, so Moser goes to the 1604. I'm assuming we are going to get... Yeah, I'm going to take Mac Jones or Jared Goff, whoever falls to us, and that way I can just queue us up a bunch of wide receivers and hop in the next draft. We have Allen. I don't think our second quarterback even matters. We don't have a potential stack with either guy. So, yeah, let's go Mac Jones and then queue up receivers. And you already saw the draft board. It was a gross draft. I'm not showing it again. We are going to put our head down, grind away, come up with a better draft for this next one. That way we don't have to worry about embarrassing ourselves yet again. Okay. Just queuing up a bunch of players before we hop into our next one. And I was joking. I will show you all the draft board, even though I do not want to draft with y'all. Of course, I will draft with y'all, even though I'm not joking about not wanting to do so. So I think, yeah, we just took Mac Jones. Mac Jones is going to be that quarterback, and then we queued up a million wide receivers, and we should be good to go for the next one. Patrick says, just signed up with a promo. Love the content, man. I watch every video on both channels. Thank you, Thank you so much. Thank you. There's nothing else I can say. But let's move over and hop in. And we are going to just hop in another puppy draft because real quick, let me explain this if somehow you don't know what it is. The puppy draft, these are both tournament contests. If you want to just get in a private league, come down here to just the $3, $10, $100. There are a ton of these drafts you can hop in. But if you want to get in one of the tournaments, it's going to be at the top. Puppy, $5 buy-in. First place gets paid. Second place gets paid. But look, 111,000 entries. So a small percentage of every single league pot is going to be set aside for the end of the season, the playoff tournament, where you have $75,000 to first, $40,000 to second, $25,000 to third. Best Ball Mania, same thing. 450,000 entrants. First place gets paid in your 12-team league. Second place gets paid in your 12-team league. But a small percentage of the league pot is set aside. $2 million to first. $1 million to second. 500,000. Keep in mind, this is how many people are entering. It's like a lotto. It's like a lotto ticket at that point. You can increase your odds just slightly, but still, it is crazy for the luck that you need to be. Okay. So we just hopped in. 2 spots left. I don't know if people got in here early expecting us to get in this puppy draft. I don't know how many people a part of the flock are actually going to be in this. Hopefully not a lot. Walter Picks is flocking up my dudes in here. No Soup for You's in here. I don't think we're up against that many people. And we were drafted at the 105. So we drafted at the 105 last time. We were saying, oh, okay, well, we never get Ja'Marr Chase. Here, I guess we're going to get Chase. Well, we'll see what happens in this draft. We're probably going to end up getting Ja'Marr. Okay. Carson says, do you think Underdog will ever do the DK type salary drafts? I'm unsure, my man. I am not nearly important enough for Underdog to answer that question. Underdog is way too big where they would not classify that with me. Okay. Dylan says, decided to let some randos get in here with you, Mason. Thank you, my man. Hopefully these randoms are making some crazy picks. Hopefully we get some values falling to us. But we will see. We will see. Taylor at the 101 looks standard so far. Looks like just any other draft that you would get in. Taylor at the 101, Cooper Kupp at the 102. Fat Fred 45 on the clock. There you go, Jefferson. I'm assuming we're getting Chase. I will take CMC if he is available at 5, but I'm assuming we're getting Ja'Marr Chase. I think Walter Picks really knows what he's doing. He goes McCaffrey. One of the very few Ja'Marr Chase teams I've been able to come away with. Very few Ja'Marr Chase teams. But let's see how we can build around it. You could reach to go ahead and get T. Higgins in the second and then get Josh Allen in the third. That's a possibility. Or we can get some running back value at the end of the second, running back value at the beginning of the third. Okay, so Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, the 108, 109. Thomas says he's been having a hard time getting in the drafts with us. My man, I will get some more private drafts going once we get closer to the summer. I'm just trying to get as many of these drafts in as possible so I can max them out. I want to be able to max out these drafts. So whenever we get those private drafts going, I'll send that private draft link in the live chat and it'll be a lot easier to join. Okay, so Mixon at the 201, Alvin Kamara at the 202. I honestly just have more fun with the tournament style drafts because I think there's more strategy that goes behind it. Okay, so DeAndre Swift goes to the 203. I honestly didn't really care about DeAndre Swift making it back to us. So what could... looks like everything's very standard. Lamb goes to the 204. Andrews goes to the 205. Yeah, so I'm assuming we're probably going to be coming away with Evans. Unless this team passes on Debo. They go Javonte. I'm not going to try to get cute with it. We're not going to go through, take Higgins, and then reach on Josh Allen. If we get Debo Samuel making it to us pick 20, pick ADP of 17, I think it is going to be, I don't want to say a rare combination, but it's not like every draft you're going to be coming away with Ja'Marr Chase and Deebo Samuel. I like the fact that we don't have to take a running back early. That's pretty damn nice as well. Jan says the big dogs will be easier to join. Yeah, the $250 drafts will be easier to join, but I do not recommend everybody getting in a $250 draft. I would definitely not recommend that. Okay, so yeah, we have someone saying Alvin Kamara went early in your draft. Yeah, Kamara went early, but it's not like it's anything too surprising. The reason Alvin Kamara goes here early is if you're looking at the range of outcomes, there's not too much of a difference between Kamara and some of the other players that would go here at the 202. However, how many teams are going to have the combination of Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook in their draft? Very, very few. Very few. Okay, so Chubb goes to the 210. Yeah, So it's not like you're seeing someone take Alvin Kamara at the 202 and go, okay, he doesn't know what he's doing. No, he knows exactly what he's doing. There's a reason he took Alvin Kamara at the 202. A.J. Brown goes at the 211. And I'm going to go for it. If Allen makes it to us at the 305, we'll take Allen. Let's try to make this a special live stream where we take Josh Allen in every single draft. Let's see if it happens. T. Higgins goes to the 301. If Allen doesn't go, there is one other player I'd be fine with. Zachary says, got to get in at least one big dog. Big dogs, they have 20 rounds, which will change your strategy just slightly. I think you're probably going to be more inclined to go 3 quarterbacks there. Obviously, still grabbing 2 elite guys, but I'm excited for the big dogs. We're going to hold off on those. I'm going to try to get as many of these $5 drafts in as possible so we can get some practice. Okay, so yeah, I'm fine with Keenan Allen or Josh Allen. We'll get one of the Allens here at the 305. Just whoever Walter Picks leaves us with. He went CMC, Mike Evans through the first 2 rounds. He goes Kyle Pitts. So we're going to go ahead and grab Josh Allen here for a couple different reasons. A, the week 17 matchup with Ja'Marr Chase. B, because we took Josh Allen last draft. C, because we took Josh Allen in the draft before that. So creating a little bit of a theme here. This is going to be our Josh Allen practice day. Our practice day on drafting Josh Allen the third. Something I haven't done a ton. I'm not going to lie. Darth says, no, let me have the stuff on Dig Stack. I'm sorry, my man. I'm not going to let that happen here. DJ Moore goes to the 306. End up getting Keenan Allen. Hell, I mean, come on. You get Keenan Allen. There's not too much you can complain about. And real quick, we have not said this live stream, even though I know everybody's heard it a million times. Somehow, some way, some of y'all are still bored on a Wednesday night, not in a fantasy football draft. And I am trying to save you. I'm trying to insert some fun into your life. Go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Get into some real money fantasy football drafts today. That's the selling point. You have fun. And on top of that, you support the channel when you use promo code FLOCK with a $10 deposit. They add $10 into your account, so it's free for you. You get our rankings, our 2022 Dynasty Rookie Draft Guide, over 130 pages, our Dynasty Rookie rankings. You get to be a part of the flock in the locals community for a month. Take advantage. Link in the chat. Link in the description of the video. Link in the comment section. Come on. Okay, so Waddle goes at the 312. No soup for you, going with the hyper fragile running back build. No soup for you knows what they're doing. So I'd imagine that once they take 3 running backs in a row, probably not going to see them going with too many more running backs after this. They would either take one more here in the 4th or 5th round and then be done at 4, or potentially wait until late in the draft and draft 5 total. Mahomes goes at the 403 to stack with Kelsey. Okay, so they also get Mike Williams falling to pick 34, which very rarely happens. Now, like Mike Williams used to go at the end of the 3rd, the beginning of the 4th quite often, but now Mike Williams has kind of slid up to being pick 28, pick 29, pick 30 in a lot of these drafts. Okay, so let's move this board up. Breece Hall goes at the 404. There are a couple names I like. Not going to lie. Herbert off the board. Okay, so there are 2 names that I really like, and I'm fine with either. two names I really like. One of them's gone with George Kittle. It is what it is. The other guy is Deontay Johnson. I think going through and building this team out with Deontay Johnson as the third wide receiver is exciting from a roster construction standpoint, especially with what we can do in the 5th round. I would have liked to get Kittle making it to us in the 5th, but that doesn't happen. Not the end of the world. Also, remember, we are going to be able to get Dawson Knox a little bit later on. I'll get Cam Akers at the 409. Akers has been a player that I haven't drafted a lot this year, and I like Cam Akers as well. It just seems very awkward with where he goes in these drafts. Like, feels like he's almost stuck in no man's land for me, where I'm just never taking running back here. Like, I'm always going to go Deontay Johnson instead. Okay, so Travis Etienne at the 411. We do need to take note of that because usually Etienne goes here at the end of the 5th. Jalen Hurts at the 412. To the team, this team didn't take AJ Brown. Then they reach on Devontae Smith when they usually can get Smith here at the 6-7 turn. I'm fine if you want to reach on Jalen Hurts, knowing that he never goes in this range, so you're going to create a slightly unique build. I think taking Devontae Smith here at the beginning of the 5th as well is just a little overkill. You're getting him falling to you there all the time. Like, you don't need to go out of your way and reach on him. Okay, so Fat Fred here is up. Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Terry McLaurin. There are 3 players I'm completely fine with. Let them fall. I'll be chilling. J.K. Dobbins goes to the 503. Well, I wasn't even really thinking about J.K. Dobbins. Walter picks up. I'd imagine they take one of the players that we wanted, but it won't be the end of the world. They go Amari Cooper. That's the guy that we wanted. I am going to go ahead and reach on David Montgomery for a couple reasons. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail. The thumbnail of this video is David Montgomery. I think that's a pretty good sign. And also, if you're looking, some of these teams are reaching on running backs that usually go at the 5-6 turn, like Travis Etienne and J.K. Dobbins as well. So I think maybe you're going to see a shift in the supply demand of the running back position. I don't want to get completely boxed out. I could be overthinking it. Yes, we could have taken Gabriel Davis. Yes, we could have got the stack with Josh Allen, which is what most smart drafters would have done. That's what we did in the last draft, and I hated it. So instead, I'm going to use my lizard brain and say, well, yes, Josh Allen needs to smash for this team to work out. I'll pass on. Yes, pass on Gabriel Davis here, and I'll draft Dawson Knox. I'll draft Jamison Crowder. I'll draft James Cook. I'll draft whoever I need to a little bit later on. Flocking up my dude with a fantastic start to this draft. Pull this up. Henry at the 108, getting Mark Andrews at pick 17. I mean, Mark Andrews is my most drafted player in the 2nd round. I love me some Mark Andrews, especially with what it does for your build. Then, I don't want to say you're smart for it to happen. You can never really plan for it to happen with confidence, but it occasionally will, and you have to be extremely excited. Getting Lamar Jackson to make it to you in the 5th. Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. Okay. So it looks like you have these running backs falling. Looks like my little hunch of maybe we need to take Montgomery here instead of Jerry Jeudy was off. But we will see. We will see. Let's slide this back up. I'm going to be interested to know if Flocking Up my dude takes Kyler to get the stack with... Ooh, let's see if he takes Kyler. I don't know if I don't know if he will. I don't know what the right answer is either. No, Kyler goes right before him, so it doesn't even matter. Okay, so Josh Jacobs goes to the 605. I probably would have taken Josh Jacobs if he made it to us at the 608. If not, we are just going to go through and we're just going to grab one of these receivers. Nicholas says, you need to draft a running back. My man, I have David Montgomery. What are you wanting from me? What are you wanting from me? Andrew says, someone in my draft just took 3 quarterbacks in a row, Kyler, Hurts, and Dak. What the hell? You have to take note of it, and you have to adjust. That's all I'm saying. Like, please, please, please be on your toes. Get ready for stuff like that to happen in your draft, and get ready to change your strategy and realize, hell, I got to reach on some of these quarterbacks a little bit earlier than I expected. We're going to go Elijah Moore here yet again. Nothing special about Elijah Moore. Just prefer the wide receivers in this range over the running backs, especially if we got David Montgomery here in the 5th. Okay. Treylon Burks, Monroe St. Brown, Miles Sanders. Okay, so this team here, yeah, this is something that maybe I would have understood a while ago, but I think if you actually look at the numbers behind it, it's pretty damn bad. Reaching on Jalen Hurts at the 412, reaching on Devontae Smith at the 501, reaching on Miles Sanders at the 612, reaching on Dallas Goedert at the 701. While, yeah, you want to build in that correlation, if you're reaching rounds to do so consistently, the added upside that you get with your potential stack is almost vanished by the fact that you've just bled so much value. Okay, so there are 2 players I'm interested. Actually, 3. There are 3 guys I like here. Fat Fred goes Dalton Schultz. Schultz was one of those players. I was hoping we were going to get Dalton Schultz making it back to us. I think we're probably locked in to going with 3 tight ends now. So if we're locked into going with 3 tight ends, I do want to be making an adjustment. And then I think what we end up having to do is draft another running back early, grab Antonio Gibson here. Antonio Gibson needs to be a faller in these drafts. He's been a faller so far. He used to go at the end of the 4th, beginning of the 5th. Now he's going in the middle of the 7th. So we're going to get Antonio Gibson, ADP of 64, taking him at pick 77. But if we take David Montgomery and Antonio Gibson here, I think we will only have to draft 5 running backs. So we'll still be able to get to our goal with 8 wide receivers, but instead of 2, 6, 8, 2 being our build, we're going to go 2, 5, 8, 3. Oh my gosh, I just ran out of water. That's going to be tough. That is going to be tough, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Thielen at the 706. I don't even know what we're hoping for. Like, maybe quarterbacks go. We have Allen. I guess we can make the argument we want quarterbacks off the board. But even then, like, it is what it is. Brady at the 707. Okay, so Darth takes Herbert and Brady. They have Godwin and Keenan. Brady is fine value at the 707. Kit Kat says a double bye week with Antonio Gibson and David Montgomery legitimately doesn't matter. Like, could not matter less if we're talking about getting the same bye week between our 2 running backs when we're drafting 5 of them. Like, no, we are fine. Okay, so Sky Moore, A.J. Dillon makes it all the way down to the 709, pick 81. I wonder, okay, who's even best available? Okay, so Russell Wilson, how far he's fallen only 5 picks in AP. You can see him continue to fall. We are 9 picks away, so what are we going to be looking at on the turn? This, I think our best draft, by far and away, our first one. Like, our first draft was so good. Our last, this one's fine. I just don't think it's special. Like, there's nothing special about this draft. Maybe we should be getting more excited about getting Antonio Gibson at the 705. Maybe we should be more excited about getting Deontay Johnson at the 408. I don't know. Okay, so Dak goes here at the 712, which is interesting. Big Lock decides to take Kyler at the 604. I wonder if they could go back in time, if they would pass on Kyler in favor of Josh Jacobs here at the 604 and then get Dak in the 7th. Like, I think if you have a CeeDee Lamb build, you probably prefer the combination of Josh Jacobs and Dak Prescott compared to Kyler Murray and A.J. Dillon. Or at least that's just me, especially if I have CeeDee Lamb. Okay, so let's move this down. Derek says, it just started. Kelsey, Andrews, Hollywood, Deontay Johnson, Kyler, and Lamar Jackson. Call it the I'm screwed build. Yeah, it seems like a fun team on paper. It just seems like it would be so hard for that team to ever win anything. Okay, so Hawkinson here goes to the 804. Let's pull this up. Okay, I like a lot of these players that are still available. We've yet to draft the tight end. We have 2 running backs, 4 wide receivers, a quarterback. Our plan as of now are 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 8 receivers, and 3 tight ends. I would have taken Ayuk if he made it. I would have taken Ayuk. Okay, so as I was saying, I don't think it's a good thing to ever reach on your stacks. We did this in the last draft as well. I'm going to be more comfortable reaching on Dawson Knox here with our Josh Allen builds than taking Gabriel Davis at his ADP in the 5th round, especially the wide receivers that we're going to be looking at. Christian Kirk versus Allen Lazard, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Christian Watson, Marcus Valdez-Scantling. I don't think there's a massive gap there. Maybe if we weren't drafting on a live stream, I'd pass on Dawson Knox, hoping that he made it back to us at pick 101 and just rolling the dice. But knowing that we're drafting on a live stream, knowing that people are going to try to snipe us, I'll take the small loss of expected value with the wide receiver we're going to be passing up on. And instead, we'll just go ahead and we'll grab Dawson Knox here, pick 92, to make sure that we have the stack with Josh Allen. Okay, so let's pull this up. Stafford goes to the 809. Good for us. No interest in Matthew Stafford. Didn't matter if he made it back to us at pick 101. Trey Lance at the 810. I was thinking about it, like if Ayuk was going to make it to us, it would have been a fantastic pick to lock in Trey Lance at pick 92. I'm sorry, Ayuk at 92, and hoping that Lance made it back to us at 101. Clearly, like, that would not have happened. You know what? We had Debo as well. I guess you could have made the argument, at least on the way back around in the 9th, if Lance was there, we should have gone Lance. Christian Kirk finally goes off the board at the 812. Damian Harris in the 901. We took Damian Harris in the last draft. Don't love Damian Harris by any means, though. Like, not trying to draft Damian Harris regularly. Okay, yeah. So these wide receivers are all pretty much in the same tier for me, so I am happy with the fact that we went Garrett Wilson. Especially Allen Lazard off the board. Like, Allen Lazard, I know you're stacking with Rodgers. Like, Christian Watson's probably not a great receiver. He was probably hyped up too much based on his size-adjusted athleticism, which doesn't matter too much of the wide receiver position. But we know that Allen Lazard's not a good receiver. We know that Allen Lazard's bad. I hate to do this in every draft. More like I love to do this in every draft. We're just going to lock in our guy. We're just going to get Kareem Hunt. Every time he's at the top of ADP, I'm taking Hunt. It's a rule. Every time. We need a receiver. But it is what it is. Kareem Hunt will have the weekly role with upside for more. There's nothing more I could ask from a running back in best ball if we're getting him outside of the top 100 picks. A role every single week with a significantly higher ceiling if something were to change in that backfield, such as an injury to Nick Chubb. Terry says, I've been watching your drafts the last few days between my drafts, LOL. I need to go back to see if I've drafted with you in any of these puppies or best ball, man. There's a good shot you have, my man. Literally every single live stream, every single one, someone comes out and goes, oh, I saw you in the draft this morning. Oh, I was in a draft with you at 4 p.m. Like every single draft, someone comes out and says that they were in some random draft with us throughout the day. I guarantee you, if you've been getting in a lot of these, you have been. Okay, so James Cook goes at the 907. We could have rolled the dice and taken a wide receiver like Chris Olave and hoped that we either had James Cook or Devin Singletary making it back to us in the 10th. But a big thing is, Josh Allen isn't a quarterback that I'm wanting to stack with RBs. Like, I think if you want to get Tom Brady and Leonard Fournette on the same team, that makes a lot of sense because the majority of Leonard Fournette's value is going to come in the receiving game with Tom Brady, which is going to help both players. However, with those Buffalo running backs, if you're drafting Josh Allen, you're essentially drafting Josh Allen to have that elite rushing ceiling, specifically for Josh Allen to go out there and rack up a ton of rushing touchdowns. And that would directly hurt players like James Cook, players like Devin Singletary. So I am less excited about grabbing those Buffalo running backs. Jared says, when do your June rankings come out? I'm going to upload those over there on Locals today, my man. I'm at least going to get the Dynasty rankings out. I want to get the Dynasty rankings out on the 1st every single day. Maybe it takes until the 2nd. The very least we have them out by tomorrow. Most likely have them out by tonight. Tyler Boyd goes to the 10:02. I would really like getting Tyler Boyd on the way back around, knowing that we could stack that Week 17 matchup. Also, Tyler Boyd is a very similar player to what we were discussing with Kareem Hunt. You know he has the role every single week with the possibility that his ceiling is significantly raised with an injury to someone else in that offense. Okay, let's see where we go from here. I'm really happy that we took Hunt. Like, looking at the running backs that are available now. The issue with taking Watson is Josh Allen has the Week 7 bye. Like, I'm a lot more willing to take Deshaun Watson whenever a quarterback has a bye week in the double digits. Okay, flocking up my dude. Only 2 RBs. Has the elite. He has a beautiful team. Legitimately a beautiful team. I don't love the Sky Moore selection, but outside of that, this is probably the best team of the draft. Goes ahead and gets Claypool here, pick 113. Okay, Darth is here. Has yet to take a tight end. Would be interested to know if they go ahead and reach on Freiermuth. Nick says, do I have to physically rank the entire NFL draft order to get in a draft? Question for everyone. I've heard that like Ohio makes you do that for whatever reason. All you have to do is put one player in there. If I'm thinking of what you were talking about, I think that's something Ohio makes you do. It's like upload your own rankings. All you have to do is move like CMC to 1 or something. And then after that, it's all ADP. But if not, please just reach out to Underdog Support if I'm wrong with that and you're having a hard time. Okay, so Matt, let's see where he goes. Derek Carr. I think we just lock in a receiver. We only have 4 of these guys. Let's go get Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams probably will miss the beginning of the season, which does suck, but he should have spike week potential a little bit later on. And I am sorry. I am probably going to have to leave this live stream early. I'm probably going to have to finish this draft off separately because I do need to get those rankings updated to Locals. I remember that on yesterday's live stream, I said those rankings would be updated today. So I need to get those posted for everyone. And also, I am dying. I am sweating. I have no water. But thank you, of course, for everybody coming out to the live stream. We are doing this every single day. Every single day. Because I think it's the most fun thing you could ever do on the planet. Keep in mind, I'm a little bit biased. I have a fantasy football channel. This is what I enjoy more than anything else. But if you enjoy fantasy football, I promise you'd have a ton of fun as well. Just make sure you go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Link in the live chat, description of the video, comment section. Use promo code FLOCK, and you will get a 100% deposit match. Most importantly, you have some fun. Get our rankings and crap. But most importantly, you have some fun. That's all I got for y'all. I genuinely appreciate you. I hope that you have a great night. And I hope that we get to see you with the live stream tomorrow.